Many people think that once they found alignment, that life just clicks, and that can be further from the truth. They think that everything feels easy, it's peaceful, and it's in order. But that's not really how it happens, is it? Because alignment, real alignment, doesn't create calm. It creates what? Clarity. And clarity is rarely quiet. When you start living in alignment with those who are becoming, life has a way of shaking loose everything that's been pretending to fit. How many of you can relate to that, right? The friendships that drain you, the commitments that don't fulfill you, and the goals you set from a version of yourself that no longer exists. You start seeing things for what they are, not for what you hope they'll be. And that can look a lot like chaos. Hello, everyone. My name is Uche Maple, and welcome to the Women Who Lead Network, where we talk about everything with leadership, entrepreneurship, and living a purpose-driven life. So think about this. Alignment does not create chaos. It reveals it. Excuse me. I get this out of my eye. It does not create chaos. It reveals the chaos in our lives. So today, what I'm going to talk about is just really giving some concrete examples, just some information for anyone who is listening here. Thank you first and foremost for joining me today on how alignment, when we are in true alignment with what has been revealed to us on what our next season is in life, we begin to remove the things that were bringing a chaotic nature into us that was not supposed to be there to begin with. Okay. So when we talk about what alignment is not, what it is, it's a revelation. It pulls back the curtain on what has been out of sync, out of order, as my sister would say, this out of order in our lives. It shows you pretty much what you have been saying yes to when you really mean no. It highlights those small cracks, that the small compromises that we did that keeps us safe, but really stuck in a place that we no longer desire to be. And then suddenly, as if like one morning you wake up, you're like, what once felt comfortable feels tight. You feel constrained. You don't understand what's happening right now. You feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have the freedom like I used to. You're not losing your way. You're just waking up to it. Because what once felt familiar is now feeling foreign. So, I do remember a season, and I've had multiple seasons of this. I will say it's like each season that's requiring a different version of myself is like when things starts to fall apart. Every season. It could happen every decade, every 5 years, every 20 years, every week, every month, not every week. Well, maybe every week, depending on what it is. Things start happening. I'm like, what is going on? It's like projects I worked on start getting stalled. People start dissing themselves. I remember it was a season where I had relocated to a different state for a new job. And I never forget this. People who I thought were my friends quit calling me. And I remember like, what's going on, yo? And they was like, I just haven't been a good friend. And I was like, okay, well, let's be a good friend now. And then they never called back. And I was like, wow. And I think over time, I'm just now, not just now, but I'm realizing that when people leave out of your life, let them and don't argue about it. And I'm a firm believer now, and I think probably within the last, probably the last 8 years, I am a firm believer, and I'm coming to terms with this, but I'm a firm believer that the people who are meant to be in your life will be in your life, and those who don't won't. And be okay with that. You know, and I remember I kept asking myself, like, what is happening? Like, I think I'm a cool friend. Like, I think work is good. I think, I'm cool to be around. But then what I quickly realized is that it wasn't punishment. It was just proof that I was no longer in alignment with who I was before. And when you become succinct, I do believe this firmly. When you become succinct and when you become in alignment with what you are striving to be or what has been given to you, alignment has a way of clearing house. It doesn't whisper. Shoot, sometimes it shakes the walls. It shook mine. And here's the part that no one tells you, right? They be like, oh, go for alignment. This is the best thing. What they don't tell you is that the discomfort, that shaking, is a sign that you're getting closer to the truth. It's the sound of things that can't go with you falling away. How many of you can relate to that? You see, we spend years trying to organize our chaos instead of understanding it. We manage what's misaligned in our lives because it feels easier than releasing it. But here's what I want to tell you is that, alignment isn't maintenance. It's actually transformation. And the reality is that transformation does have a cost. It does. So in this moment, with everything that is happening right now, with jobs going away, with inflation increasing, with food costs is a lot, with childcare going up, rent is going up, rent is up, gas is up, the cost of just getting your hair done is up. Ask yourself, I just think about this. Do me a favor, ask yourself, what is being revealed to you in this moment? What is this moment trying to show you about who you're becoming and who I'm no longer willing to be? So what we have to think about is this, and let me rephrase that. What is this moment trying to tell me about who I've become and who I'm not and who I'm no longer willing to be? Because sometimes the confusion isn't the problem, it's the conversation that we have within ourselves. Life is saying, you can't carry this version of you into the next. When you start aligning your actions with your truth, you're going to lose some things, ladies and gentlemen. And that's okay, because alignment will never take what was meant to stay. I'm going to repeat that again. Alignment would never take what was meant to stay. It only removes what can't hold the weight of your next season. Okay, so and then let me put this in a way that you can understand. When you're working out, you're trying to lose weight and you're losing weight. Your old clothes can't go with you into your new season of weight loss, right? You lost 25 pounds. Those old pants, that dress that was a size larger, you can't wear it. It's falling off. It looks weird. It looks crazy. It can't go with you, right? It can't go with you. So if people walk away, let them. If opportunities close, release them. If routines stop working, rebuild them. Don't call it loss. Call it clarity in motion. Because here's the thing, alignment is not about perfection. It's about peace. And when I say this, I want to make sure that we don't confuse when I say peace, that you won't have challenges, you won't have challenges, because you can be in the midst of a storm and have peace. You can be in the midst of a storm and have peace, internal peace. Alignment is about moving through your life with honesty, even when it's uncomfortable, and it's honesty with yourself about the position and the state that you put yourself in. And every time you choose alignment over approval, you choose yourself. Not the version that the world expects, not the version that makes everyone else comfortable, but the version that's finally ready to stop playing small. And that's where your next season begins.